it's very clear. This, you must understand Prime Minister Modi's strategy. So they decided to target online media.
For the run-up to the 2014 election, at that time, the mainstream media has been campaigning for Modi or BJP started at that time itself, and the other medias like the Wire, the Quint, or the Alt News, all these medias are criticizing the government. They are doing the fact checks. They are revealing the corrupt deals. All those things are happening, and all these medias being targeted. Now the BBC is also being targeted. So this is a big thing, and the government has to answer not only to the people of India but to the whole world, isn't it? But, is the government is not at all ashamed of taking all these things, all these decisions, all these cases?
See, it's very clear. This, you must understand Prime Minister Modi's strategy. When he came, he said that he does not need media, that he will create his own connect with the people through WhatsApp. You know what Ravish describes as WhatsApp University, and we all know. Social media, there's that, their own news kind of versions that come out of IT cell and all. So unfortunately, a number of TV channels, especially TV channels, they started sort of following the leads coming from the establishment. And they lost credibility, frankly, So now the only media which the regime was worried about, which was independently doing some journalism, was online media, and to some extent the traditional media, as I mentioned, all the regional newspapers which have online products like Express online product, Hindu online. So they realize that online media is where people are now. The younger lot is going there and reading and consuming news and analysis, videos. So they decided to target online media. Now they did not need to target them individually. So what they did was they brought this new IT laws. Information technology law, which was meant for platforms. The original Information Technology Act 2000 was meant for platforms like Twitter and Facebook. They brought in some new provisions to cover news organizations, and if you just saw 10 days ago, they have come up with further amendments giving Press Information Bureau, a PR agency of the government, powers to ask for removal of any content appearing online, social media, any content which they think is wrong.
It's not factual.
Wrong representation.
They think it is not factual.
Yeah, wrong representation of government policy. So which means if PIB puts out a big press release saying that Prime Minister Modi, government under PM Modi has achieved these things, and if the media says no, these are fact checked, not achieved, these are not the achievements, as then they can remove. So PR agency has been given power to fact check, which many jurists, Kapil Sibal, even Indian Express did a edit saying government is trying to be judge, jury and executioner. Only a court can decide whether a story published by independent media, whether it violates Article 19. It can't be decided by
the government.
which is what in the Media One case also the Supreme Court clearly said that the government cannot decide, cannot not renew license or cannot suspend license or not renew license on grounds of national security when there is no material to show that that national security was being breached by the media organization, and under reasonable restrictions clause of Article 19 also none of those things are valid, right? So they upheld, Supreme Court upheld Article 19 freedom of speech. So similar thing will happen now if the government tries to remove articles or seek removal of articles from media. Media will go to the government and will go to the judiciary and seek similar intervention as Media One has done, right? So they have created a situation where there is no other scope but to go to the judiciary, because they have appropriated to themselves all the powers to decide whether a news item or analysis or a video is proper or not. And in fact, the original when they first came up with these amendments in the middle of COVID, at least 3 high courts gave stays. They stayed the operation of those draconian powers in regard to online news. So like Madras High Court, Chennai High Court, Digital News Publishers Association went to Chennai High Court. They stayed the operation. Then Kerala High Court stayed the operation for live law specific. Mumbai High Court also gave a similar order saying that these things cannot be, you can't sort of unilaterally arm yourself with powers to take down, news or online from online news platforms. So I think this process is still on. The challenge to this, government knows that it's being challenged. Government knows that it is losing some cases like Media One, but still it is not relenting. It wants to create more and more confusion, create more fear among people. So this latest one, this Press Information Bureau, is a shocker. Even PIB people are shocked. They have been given this power, because they never. I mean, we've all dealt with. You must have dealt with state.
PRD.
They never imagined that they would be given powers to decide whether you give a news saying that this is a great achievement, and if the media says no, this is not a great achievement, you ask for taking it down.
Yeah, this is quite ridiculous, because the government.
In my 40 years of journalism, I can tell you, 83 I came to journalism. I have never seen this kind of intrusion into the media freedom space.
Even in emergency period.
Emergency was. I was not a journalist during emergency, but from what I hear from other journalists, my seniors when editors when I joined journalism in 1983. So I'm exactly 40 years. But emergency, a lot of people say, in some ways was a very honest exercise.
Yeah, it was already declared.
Yeah, it was declared. What you what you saw was what you got was what you exactly what was declared, and then she withdrew it, Indira Gandhi. But the difference here is this regime is at various international fora is claiming, they are they are celebrating, they are calling themselves mother of democracy, celebrating freedoms, that media is very free, nothing, but underneath, subliminally they are just cutting at the roots of all manner of media freedoms.
Nowadays government is claiming that the open defecation has been ended, and
if you write the story they will take it down.
Ministry of Family Welfare and Health, their survey itself says that it happens in so many states, and the percentage is like this. If we report that, then then the story may be killed.
Or they may say that we have that we provide housing to so many millions, low cost housing, and if a reporter goes and checks on the ground, that's what people do, right?
Yeah.
So, and if they report that it is not true, then these guys will exercise the power that they've given themselves to take down those articles, or videos or whatever. By the way, videos they are already taking down. There's another loophole in the law, which is traditional media organizations or registered media organizations have some protection today, right? Which they are slowly taking away through these amendments to IT Act and all, especially in the online space. The IT Act covers the online space. So, but there are a lot of journalists who have left their organizations, like Ravish, and there must be many cases in Malayalam journalism, who don't have an organization. What they do is every day they go to YouTube and they present their news, program, right? They don't even have this protection. Those YouTube, they just have to, government has to write to intermediary, which is YouTube, and say that please take it down, and those people may come under pressure and take it down. You see Elon Musk's statement last week.
Yeah.
Very clearly he says, if it's a choice between my employee in India going to jail and letting free press, media continue to have its freedom of expression, I'll rather save my employee, and take that article down. So this is what is happening. So of course, in the past, Twitter, Facebook and all also pushed back against the government when they asked for taking down, and they went to court, all kinds of things. Some of the cases are still there in the courts. So let us see how this whole thing pans out.
Yeah. Then there is the case of Pegasus. The wire, including the wire, which has brought out usage of Pegasus in India. And,
Pegasus.
Of course, your phone is compromised, and your editor's phone is compromised, and a lot of other people, social activists, judicial people from the judiciary, all those people's phones has been compromised, and a report has been submitted by the ex-judge R.V. Ravindran. And are you satisfied with the process that is going on in that case?
The problem with the Supreme Court, the committee report and the Supreme Court proceeding was, it hinged a lot on the government coming forward. They asked the government for material. Government just refused to cooperate, which was recorded by Chief Justice Ramana and recorded by the committee also, that government has totally refused. And the committee had no way of finding out. They have vaguely said that in some phones there are some some malware, or some phones seem like infected, but they could not conclude whether they were Pegasus. So they just left it at that. But the problem here is, Rajiv, is that every other government has admitted to existence of Pegasus. US government, German government, French government admitted. Even the Israelis responded by telling that company NSO. In fact, the NSO has been shut down. Only India says there is nothing. So here, to everything the response is that no, nothing. There is nothing. And for everything they want the opposition to prove everything. you have all the material, if you have. So I was once called on TV after the Supreme Court committee order. So I said that there was a BJP spokesperson on TV. He said Venu should apologize, and nothing has been proved. So I said, okay, I'll apologize on behalf of the wire if I get an explicit statement from the government, which they didn't give the Supreme Court or the committee, that they don't have Pegasus or they don't have a spyware. They never bought it, because it's common knowledge that something was bought and it's probably lying in the files. At some time or the other, it will come out, those files. So that's where the situation is. So in fact, when I saw Tim Cook, the global head of Apple, inaugurating some Apple stores in Bombay and with great entertainment with people and lining up. So I wanted to tweet. I didn't tweet finally. At least some journalist should ask him. Even Apple has gone to court in California against this against the company, the NSO. WhatsApp has gone against NSO because WhatsApp has found Pegasus infected many phones in India. Before 2 years before Pegasus controversy broke. So they all are in the court, and Apple is saying that the biggest feature of their phone, their biggest unique selling proposition is security and privacy. See, Apple always says that our phones have much more security and privacy than Android, and this NSO has completely breached that claim of Apple. They've completely, it's in shambles now. So therefore Apple has gone to court to protect their brand. So, but beyond a point, Apple is also not making any statements. Corporates are also, they play safe, so because they have to grow their business in India, right? So there's a lot of complication in this Pegasus story. But the fact is that spywares are being used in other forms of spyware. Recently there was some report that the government wants to buy some other spyware.
During the second UPA government time, the 2G spectrum allegations that have been extensively reported, and you also did a lot of stories on that 2G. And of late, when we look back, the 2G spectrum allocation, which has been done as per the policy evolved by the Vajpayee government, first come first served basis, and it gave the service providers lot of opportunities, and that spread the mobile spread in India, and the data spread in India, and now we are planning to go for the 5G rollout, and it has been done, and we are planning to go for the 6G. Do you think the 2G allocation was the milestone for the spread of this communication network, mobile communication network, data network in India?
Yeah, in a sense, see in India the mobile penetration story is a big success story. Nowhere in the world is a mobile penetration of the kind that we have in India. We have nearly 100%, right? More than, and of this 100%, probably at the moment I am told 300 million are like smartphones, and slowly Reliance is trying to create various categories of smartphones in there through their Geo exercise. They have some partnership with Google. So the fact is that the spread of mobile and the has been a success. But where government policy actually faltered was in any such mobile policy, mobile services policy, there are three components which are very important. There has to be a balance between what the consumer gets, that is a low price, it is called consumer surplus, then what the producer earns, that is the profits, and government revenues. There has to be a balance between the three. So because of political because it got politicized, a lot of people said that in the UPA period that which Kapil Sibal also argued at that time, that the policy aim was that there should be mobile services should be sold cheap, there should be as much penetration as possible, and therefore government revenues were not seen as so important. Producers can make money, consumer can get a lot of benefits, right? So that policy got challenged. That got challenged mainly because there was some corruption. Definitely there was some corruption. Now there was which of course the 2G case in the courts looked at. Now what happened in the courts was that under this government, new government, the prosecution was supposed to take it to its conclusion. Imagine 2G was the biggest scam which this government rode on, when they came to power. At the end of the day, when after 2-3 years, when the judgment came of the CBI Special Court, Mr. Saini, what did he say in the judgment? He says that he says the prosecution did not really make out a serious case. He used words like reckless against the prosecution, again, which includes the CBI. That they after a time they lost interest. They started giving notes, to the court without unsigned note. So it was an indictment, scathing indictment of the way prosecution conducted that. So which is even today a big mystery, that why was a 2G case, which is such a big scam, there was no conclusion in the court. Then for some time, when the court did not find anybody guilty and they just threw the case out, this BJP government for 6-7 months did not go to the High Court in appeal. They should have gone to High Court, right? Then somebody told them you have to go to High Court in appeal. So then they finally went to the High Court in appeal. And it's been now 2 years. I don't know what is happening to that case in the High Court, which clearly tells me that politically it got buried. Once it served the politics of the day, which is to bring this government to power. After that, this government has forgotten about that case. In my view, it has forgotten about it. Do you hear about the High Court case?
Nothing.
Nothing. He didn't. So this is what happens. There are many other cases where which came from the UPA time, where which have been
the Commonwealth scam, the other scam,
yeah,
all those things have been
forgotten. Yeah. Even the coal scam.
Yeah.
Nothing is happening on the coal scam. This government came and said, oh, we're going to do this special reverse auction allocation of coal, on a rational basis. Then again, people are pointing out how coal is being, coal mines are being auctioned, where there are just 2 bidders, and one bidder is a company, and the other bidder is that company's proxy. So, in fact, in one such case, even Adani, the Scroll did a story on how Adani won a coal block with coal block, or was it some? No, that was not coal. That RP Goenka company. The RP Goenka, Sanjeev Goenka, who he got a coal block where the other bidder is a proxy company. He himself has set up a Yeah.
And finally, we are about to discuss the political scenario evolving after the Hindenburg report on Adani and the revelations made by Satyapal Malik. And you have been reporting for the past 40 years, so many political evolutions, political turmoils, etc., and what all these allegations impacted on the political verdict by the people, etc. You have been seeing and analyzing for the past 40 years. Do you think these 2 components, one is Hindenburg report on Adani and the Satyapal Malik's interview and the stunning revelations, these 2 things will impact heavily on the political circumstances in 2024?
My real assessment, I would like to wait for some time to see how it seeps down. At the moment, what is happening is the Adani episode has to, the Supreme Court committee is investigating, some aspects, some other aspects which Congress has said 20,000 crore, where does it come from? So the whole idea that the opposition is now moving towards is to make this corruption charge stick personally to Prime Minister Modi via crony capitalism. See, now it remains to be seen how much does it work, because Prime Minister Modi, if you've noticed, he keeps emphasizing that he is clean, that he has no family, he's single, he has no, so therefore because he has no family, there is no need for him to be corrupt, right? So he keeps hammering that point. Now the opposition, the Congress particularly, is trying to make out a case that personal corruption is not the only corruption. You may be a single person, you may not make any personal money, but you can still have enough nexus with the world of business, corporate nexus, where you make arrangements to stay in power in perpetuity, So you have, so that's also a form of corruption, that you do favors to people and they keep you in power, through money, power, etc. So I don't know whether this will stick, or how well the opposition plays this,
yeah, that is the real thing. I
think how Kejriwal is trying to do the same. The other issue is, it's a fact that Modi has managed to mesmerize his constituency, which I describe as 4 or 5 Hindi states, UP, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, from where BJP gets most of its seats. Those guys are still with him, and especially the backward castes, etc. He has managed to keep that flock together, broadly on the Hindutva plank, anti-Muslim. So, which doesn't happen in the southern parts, maybe a little bit around coastal Karnataka, but you won't find beef related, cow slaughter related killings in in Kerala or Tamil Nadu, or but they happen here. So the cow vigilante, various love jihad, or various ways in which you target the minority and keep the Hindu flock together, keep them like the opium of Hindutva,
That is there. The opium of Hindutva is there, and the love jihad, the cow vigilantism, and hate campaigns
and laws. In many Hindi BJP rules say there are laws which make interfaith marriage very difficult.
Yeah.
You have a constitution which allows you freedom to marry. Here in Gujarat and in Rajasthan, not Rajasthan, in
Uttar Pradesh, I think.
Uttar Pradesh, if you want to marry a person of another faith, you have to go and
go to the district magistrate, apply to the district magistrate.
Yeah, you have to seek a bureaucrat. So bureaucrat is deciding your constitutional, freedom that your constitution guarantees you. Bureaucrat is is the arbiter of that freedom. So I don't know how this will work. In Gujarat, under some Disturbed Areas Act, they can't. Muslims are not even allowed to buy houses in certain areas. Yeah. So I mean, these are things which to any Western democracy would be a shocking fact.
Apart from that, the demolition drive is there, the encounter killings is there.
Yeah,
everything.
Of course, this bulldozer business.
This
bulldozer business, the selective, all basically, as I say, you use the law in such a way that you kind of technically you're on the right. You're using the law correctly technically, but within that you are actually targeting certain community more than the other.
Yeah, even if these dividing factors like hate campaign, the Hindutva opium, all those things are there, but after a gap of 8 to 9 years, the opposition has a chance to target the Prime Minister directly through the Adani factor, Hindenburg report, and interview by Satyapal Malik. Do you think the opposition has the strength to use this properly?
See, as I said, the opposition has just come together for the first time. So I would like to see over the next 4-5 months how they pitch this campaign. It's a bit early to say whether they can really sort of dislodge, or they can hurt Modi politically. It's a fact that the Prime Minister is rattled. He doesn't use the word Adani, remember?
Yeah.
He doesn't use the word China, So all those things show that he sees these issues as factors which could breach his impregnable thing that he has created around him, that popularity, and of course the economic issues, the growing unemployment and inflation. It's really sort of hurting people very, very badly. The post-COVID, it's very clear. There's so much data to show that these people are hiding. Official data is not forthcoming, but Jean Drèze wrote a piece recently saying rural wages have grown only less than 1% in the last, since 2016 or 2017. So inflation is hurting people very badly. The price of milk, pulses, now people are arguing whether at what point will Hindutva cease to be a kind of whether all these other issues neutralize the opium of Hindutva. That is something that I would want to watch. So plus of course there's a 10-year anti-incumbency is there, 100%. Yeah. But I think by and by people have now understood. There is an understanding among the people that this government wants to rule with a sledgehammer, by hook or by crook they want to come to power, and they understand certain things. They come to realize certain things. They realize that 90% of all money, corporate money, they are cornering through this completely non-transparent system of the donations, political donations, and those things are actually going down. They are sinking among the people who are even semi-educated, who think, who understand. So let us see. Of course, the other big issue for me is that if you're asking about how this, whether this government will do well in the 2024 election, I would say that there are many states. Today BJP has 0 allies. So there are many states where they will not get the number of seats that they got last time. And Maharashtra, for instance, Bihar, where political alignments have changed. So they will have problems. Definitely they'll have problems. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you.